One of the most defining features of 2XKO as a fighting game is its tag system, called Handshake Tag, as well as the tag button itself. In this video, I'll be going over exactly how the button works, both on its own and with some different fuses, some limitations, and some more advanced uses of assist and handshake tag. There's a lot to go over with this button, so I hope that this video helps you understand at least the basics, as well as some other cool stuff. This is Knowledge is Power. So first things first, what exactly does the tag button even do? Before the round starts, you can hold down the tag button to swap which character you start with. During the match, if you press the tag button, or hold forward while pressing the tag button, your second character comes out, performs their assist move, does a little animation, and then leaves the screen. This puts the assist on a 2-second cooldown after they leave. If they get hit, or parried, it instead goes on a 4-second cooldown. If you hold backward while pressing the tag button, your second character comes out and performs their other assist move instead. If your second character is alive, and you hold down while pressing the tag button, you do what's called a tag launcher, hitting your opponent in the air as well as swapping your character on the way up. If your second character is dead, you can press tag while holding down and do a super assist, spending 1 bar of that character's meter and doing a unique assist. If you hold down the tag button, after a small delay, you will swap to your other character. If you press the tag button while blocking, you will perform a push block, where your second character comes in and pushes the opponent away. This also puts your assist on a 4-second cooldown. Lastly, if you press a special button and the tag button at the same time, you will perform a break. This is the game's combo breaker, and requires this bar to be full, and does not require your assist to be off cooldown to perform. These are just the basics of the tag button, however there is still one more use of it that interacts with all of these. When your second character is on the screen, unless they're dead, if you press the tag button, you will swap over to that character. This is called Handshake Tag. It plays this audio effect, and you can see the second character kind of glow, indicating that a handshake tag has happened. So, you can swap after calling an assist, performing a push block, and performing a break, since all of these put that second character on the screen. Once swapped, your previous character does their little animation, then leaves the screen, putting the assist on a 2-second cooldown unless they get hit, putting it instead on a 4-second cooldown. There are a few times where you cannot tag to your assist, however. If you are in the middle of a super, if your assist got hit or parried, and if you are currently getting hit or are blocking a move. Now that we know what the assist button does and how handshake tag works, let's get into the specifics and more advanced uses and properties of the button, as well as how different fuses change the rules of the button. Before I get into all the properties and frames of the tag button, there are going to be a lot of buts and unlesses and stuff like that. I'll do my best to explain it all, but if something's unclear or if I mess up, please let me know in the comments below. When tagging to your assist character, they cannot act for 3 frames, unless they did something that made contact with the opponent. They also cannot parry for 15 frames, which is about 1/4 of a second. Besides that, all you're doing is swapping to your other character and controlling them now. Do note, because this game is hold back to block, if your opponent tags to their other character, make sure you're holding away from the one they are controlling. This means you may have to go back and forth as they swap sides. It takes some getting used to, and even the pros get mixed up, so don't worry too much if it gets confusing. This is also the case when they call an assist. So long as you're holding away from the character that they are controlling, you'll just block it. Speaking of getting mixed, Before you tag, if you throw out a move with one character and then swap to the other character, the move will still come out, but it will be slightly changed. If the original move hits low or overhead, it becomes a mid. This is done to prevent literal unblockable setups, like a low and overhead hitting at the same time with both characters. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Warwick's down forward heavy is this low slide. However, if I tag out right before the move hits, it no longer hits low. Same thing with his overhead leap. When you tag out, your moves become mids. Now that we've gone over the universal properties of tag, let's go over how the fuses interact with it differently. You probably know that the double down fuse lets you use a super with one character, then combo it into a super with your second character. However, there is another use for it. If your assist is on the screen during the super, you can still tag to that character. As the name suggests, with the 2x assist fuse, you can use your assist 2 times before they go on cooldown. The assist that you use can be 2 of the same one, or 2 different ones. Make sure when trying to use the second assist that you hold forward or backward, because if you press the assist button without holding a direction, you'll just tag to the other character without doing the second assist. Freestyle is the most popular fuse used at high level because it lets you perform a handshake tag twice, letting you swap your character, then swap back. It may seem simple, but you essentially have 2 teleports, letting you use them offensively and defensively. However, if you use both tags, you will put your assist on a 6-second cooldown. To activate Teamfight, press tag and one of your normal buttons. During this time, even though you control both your characters, your assist character still behaves like an assist, meaning all their attacks are mids, they cannot throw, and they cannot block. Sidekick is one of the 2 solo fuses, letting you play as one character during a round. If you hold down the tag button, instead of swapping characters, your assist will come out and begin running across the screen, doing their assist when you let go of the button, or after a short time. You can also do their super assist at any time, since your assist technically can't die. However, since you only have 1 bar of meter, it will take 1 of your bars instead of 1 of theirs. Juggernaut is the other solo fuse. In this fuse, you no longer have access to any assists of any kind. Push block will now cost some of your break bar instead of an assist coming out, however, it now pushes back both opponents. And, instead of a tag launcher, Juggernauts have an eject, letting them forcefully swap out their opponent character. That's all the basics of tag and assist, as well as how the fuses change them. I wanted most of this video to be more of a beginner video, but now I'm going to go over some of the more niche and advanced uses of the button in more specific scenarios. I mentioned before that pressing tag and a special button when this bar is full is your combo breaker, called break. If you happen to block your opponent's break, they will bounce off the wall, letting you get a free combo. This is typically done by staggering your buttons, or launching your opponent into the air. However, this can also be done by tagging. If your assist is on the screen when your opponent uses their break, you are able to tag to them and block the break. Some characters have certain moves that they can perform after tagging out. This is simply done by pressing the correct buttons, as if you were controlling the character. This is not every move though. Only certain moves on certain characters have this property. The absolute best part of tagging out is the fact that it basically works as a one-frame teleport, letting you escape pressure, create pressure, and even dodge certain attacks, notably characters level 3s. I mentioned before that when you tag out, any lows and overheads become mids, and while this is true, you can still use the screen freeze of the tag to make your opponent think that they're about to get hit by an overhead or low, then do the other one with your other character. For example, if I tag during the middle of Warwick's S1, the screen freezes, my opponent sees the S1 coming out, and it looks like they're about to get hit by an overhead. But remember, this is now a mid, so I can hit them low with the other character. You can use this to overwhelm your opponent's instincts. Also, even though overheads and lows become mid on tagout, they only become mid on block, meaning lows can still catch retreating guard and must be parried low. This freeze is known to eat your inputs during it, but let me give you a bit of clarity on how that actually works. During the screen freeze, most buttons that you press will simply just be buffered and come out after the game resumes. The exception to this is any tag or assist actions. This means that if your opponent breaks and you try and tag during it to block, like I mentioned before, it won't work. You have to tag after the freeze ends. Or you could just mash it. That'll probably work too. And that's all I got for the tag button. It's a very versatile button with a lot of uses and strategies. I hope this all made sense, and let me know in the comment section if I missed or messed up anything, and what you'd like to see next. Until then, I'll see y'all next time.